Welcome back to another episode of Uber driver tips and Lyft driver tips, where I give you Uber tips and Lyft tips to help you make more money, get higher ratings, and overall have a way better time driving for Uber and driving for Lyft. This is one I really wish I knew way earlier on, because one unique thing about Lyft and Uber that's kind of like everyone knows this, but it's kind of very underrated is the fact that you're having numerous conversations with random people. It's not forced, it's not awkward really, because you're used to the idea of, someone gets in your car, the passenger is used to having a conversation with the driver, and vice versa. And this is a big one for any driver that has an entrepreneurial pursuit. Let's say you're trying to become an actor. Let's say you want to do YouTube. For me, obviously, when I was driving for Lyft and Uber, I was hustling on music a lot. And one big thing is to have business cards on you. And I know this doesn't directly relate to Lyft and Uber, but in some ways it does. And the reason why is you'd be surprised, especially let's say if you're a beginner driver, you haven't done that many rides, you can be surprised. The number one question I find overall when it comes to being a driver is people will say, oh, so you drive for Lyft and Uber. What else do you do? Is this your main job? And overall, people asking you if you're doing anything else besides driving. And so many times I would get this question, especially, when I first started driving, and it was unexpected. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm actually a musician. I drive for Lyft and Uber to help pay for my music career and everything. And people, I'd say almost about 75% of the time would be like, oh really? Well, what's your name? What's your channel? What's your Spotify? And the name I produce music under is actually my last name, which is Freccero, Freccero. Not the easiest name to spell. So I'd say that, and people would be like, oh, okay, cool. And I could tell they're just making small talk, or they're just like, oh yeah, I'm never going to search this guy. However, after I got business cards, I remember any single time someone asked me for my music, I'd pull out the business card, hand it to them, and be like, hey, you know what? Since you asked, because they did, here's my card, my SoundCloud's on there, my Spotify, my channels are on there, etc., etc. This is a great way, in my opinion, to really grow your business or any other side hobbies that you have, because there is something, even though it's maybe considered old school in a sense, there is something super unique about a business card. I feel like that, one, it's tangible, like it's a physical thing. So let's say when someone gets back to their house and they take all this stuff out of their pockets, their wallet, their keys, their phone, whatever, they have that physical business card. Even if, let's say, someone searches me on Spotify and finds me, or I type it into their notes app, or they do, or whatever, it's still something digital that they could easily forget about. However, with a business card, like I said, that physical aspect to it, I think is such a great marketing tool. And again, this is something that I know does not directly relate to making more money driving for Lyft and Uber, but if you do have a side hobby and a side pursuit, it is such an underrated aspect of Lyft and Uber that it's actually a kind of a cool marketing tool. It's a cool way to kind of get your name out there. You're having great one-on-one conversations. And like I said, because most people ask you, like, hey, what do you do besides Lyft and Uber? This is a great way to get your name out there depending on what you're doing, whatever you're doing. Hey, it's a client business, and by getting your name out there more, it's growing any pursuit that you have.